the Doc from the Stogie Fresh 5 podcast, and you're listening to the Geeks, the Stogie Geeks, with Tim and Paul. Kick back and enjoy as the Geeks kick ass each week. Listen in to the regular episodes as they smoke and chat about their weekly list of stogies. And now, back to the Stogie Geeks.
Big shout out to the Doc, the Stogie Fresh podcast.
You know, he really did a good job with that sweeper. It's
He
it's a
did.
pretty good job.
I listened to his most recent episode, and he reviewed the Headley Grange.
What did he say?
Did a fantastic job reviewing the Headley Grange. I don't know. I haven't gotten to the end where he actually puts a rating on it yet, but we was talking all about it.
Now, who's this?
This is the Doc from the Stogie Fresh podcast. He also talked about ratings, too, in his show, and how the different people rate them and some things that he takes into consideration. And I think everyone does it differently. Certainly our rating system is very unique. Yeah. Now, he has a tough time assigning value to a cigar because it's such an objective thing, I think is really what he kind of summed it up as. I think we go on a limb and we assign value. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay, now value. First thing I think, what would you think, listeners, novice and expert, when you think value in a cigar, what's the first thing that comes to your mind instantly?
Price versus experience.
Price versus, experience.
Yeah, exactly. That's well put. And I think there's so many combinations. That's why I think a number is the worst way to go. My humble opinion.
I agree with that, actually. It seems very arbitrary.
Well, what he said is the cigar aficionado assigns numbers to him, but they don't say how they come up with the number.
Right. Oh, they do. They
do, actually, but they don't go below like a,
and not only that, when you're paying $20,000 to $25,000 a page for advertisement, that number gets skewed. I don't care. I don't care what anyone thinks about that. That's the truth. And most magazines, you got to, that's just the way of the world, by all means. And that's not every magazine.
It's in every industry.
It's in every industry. It is what it is. If that fair and balance, and I think our rating is one of the better ones. It's not the best, but it's up there with us because think about it, a $5. I can get more, when someone says a $5 to a 91.
Yeah.
Right, what does that mean?
As a 91, what's that mean?
Well, we went very user-based, I think, on our...
absolutely.
Tailored to the consumer.
I think it's a great rating system. Humbly.
Next year we'll revisit our rating system because we've enhanced it even quite a bit this year. So maybe when they make some final adjustments to it, modifications, and we'll talk about it in more in depth.
Again, 91 Oasis.
We introduced
what would you do?
We introduced Oasis. The box split. The box split was
110.
Yeah, exactly. Oasis means there's no doubt. Yeah. 91 leaves me a doubt. It does.
But now, I think we take in consideration how a cigar ages, too. So we say, well, this is a $5 now. This could progress.
We have that luxury, though.
Yeah.
And not everyone has that luxury.
Now, the Doc, he reviews cigars. He goes back a year later and reviews every cigar again to see how it is.
Is smart.
Yeah.
And I think that's something I think Mark brought up a good point, is that what I think one of our goals for 2013 is that we should, as we do our shows, take our notes.
And, also, we've been doing that in our Stogies of the Week. We've been redoing.
Right, exactly. You can go right back to it.
Yep.
And see anyway, let's get to our
top 5 Cameroon wrap cigars. We're going to do some quick top 5 lists in this segment. So this is my top 5 Cameroon cigars. Fuente Hemingway. I think they make solid Cameroon cigars. Even that
value.
Don
talk about value.
Yeah.
No, Don Carlos, is that Cameroon
Yes,
too?
Cameroon.
Yeah. So I even think that extends to the Don Carlos line, too.
Yeah.
I'd say, I also want to come up with a top 5, production cigars. I think that also makes the list, because those are regular production cigars. You can get them everywhere and anywhere.
Right.
And that,
all year long.
And that Cameroon wrapper is solid.
You think about something that I guess people like to have that chase of a cigar saying, you don't have it. And that's great and everything. But what's better when you have a regular production cigar that you just love, and it's readily available.
Is good.
I think it's huge. Anyway.
La Aurora too.
Yeah.
They're Cameroon, so they'll say Cameroon on the band.
Yeah.
Of course, the Lancero is the belle of the ball in that line. But all their Cameroon cigars, I truly believe, are very, very special.
The Robusto's great too,
and those are regular production too.
Yep. Absolutely.
LFD Cameroon wrap cigars. Their Cameroon wrappers are really good.
I'm gonna.
I know you guys will probably
go ahead.
So if you've never had the original unbanded ones, then the Cameroon cabinet might be really good and you might really love it. But I feel like once you've had that, it really kind of spoils it because they are special as opposed to good.
Oasis.
Yeah.
Oasis. If you had the unbanded Cameroons from LFD, whatever they did, how they blended that, maybe because of the crop, I'm clueless. I don't even know what's going on, what happened to that. The regular Cameroons they have now, they're a good smoke. They're a solid smoke. But the unbanded ones were just, they come up, they would come in cabs of 50. And I was smoking those like candy. I wish, and that's something I truly don't have anymore.
I have two.
Smoking, boy, I can imagine.
I'm putting the Casa Fuente blend on my list.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty solid Cameroon wrapper. I think they're a little overpriced, but if that's a place you're visiting, you definitely want to try their Cameroon wrap cigars. It's not something you're going to find everywhere. It's a different enough flavor profile where I think it's worth seeking out, maybe trading for to get some. It's worth smoking, and it's a great representation, I think, of the Cameroon wrapper. Although I will kind of stipulate that it is a little overpriced. But
you can't. I think you can't put price as your biggest deterrent of getting something.
No.
I mean, I'm not
Certainly
saying that.
Not.
Right. I mean, you're limited budget. That's understandably correct. I'm not saying that you have to go and get a $20 cigar, but sometimes you're paying that $15, $20 range, and it makes you happy.
Do it.
That's it.
And when you're there too, so a lot of times they'll run specials where you get a mojito and one of their blended blend cigars.
Yeah.
For a deal, that's epic. I mean, that gives you the true Casa Fuente experience.
With Cameroons, though, you cannot smoke them in the colder weather. They crack like crazy.
That's a good point. And I had the Partagas Benji Menendez Master Series.
If you didn't have that in there,
either one, the older ones or the newer ones.
I can't wait to try this year's.
Yeah. That's been a really, I mean, I call it a solid release. It's above and beyond a solid release.
Much better than solid.
That's where General,
it's the best thing that they make,
that's the only
hands
thing
down.
Make, that's good.
It's the only Partagas regular, non-Cuban, I should say, that I really, truly enjoy.
I got to agree.
I smoke a lot of them. So, Cameroon wrap cigars, I mean, those.
I think you pretty much ran the gamut.
The ones that you guys have talked about on the show, and I think Tim included, pretty much are in those categories.
Well, I mean, and if any listeners out there on the live chat, please chime in.
Yeah, if you've got other Cameroon cigars,
I'm sure I know for sure we're missing something. But before we close the note on Cameroon, move on to the next 5. What's the most prevalent thing that comes into your mind with a Cameroon, that the taste of that cigar that you like the most?
I like there's a certain sweetness, I think, to it.
The Cameroon sweetness is unmistakable, isn't it?
Stephen in the chat says Oliva Series G Cameroon.
That's
a solid,
great call.
Solid offering.
Great call.
And you can get those at a really good price.
You can get those. I'm telling you what. You can get those from almost like $3 to $4 on certain
auctions.
Sites. Absolutely. Great call.
Yep.
Great call. There you go.
Alrighty, top 5 Lanceros.
Okay.
We're going to have some differences here.
Yeah,
so let's think so. Yeah.
Oh, I think so.
Davidoff Millennium Blend Lancero. Have you guys had that recently?
Yes, I have.
I haven't had that in a while.
It's awesome.
It's really good.
It's really awesome.
It's one of the better Davidoff Millenniums, I think. I mean, they're all pretty good in their own right, but the Lancero, they make a great Lancero.
Yeah. Okay.
You can pay a premium for that.
Oh, yeah.
I mentioned the Laura Cameroon Lancero. We all agree. Paul Gamarian Reserva Exclusiva Grand Panatella.
Awesome.
That may be pretty close to my number 1 Lancero. Let me tell you. It's right up there.
How's this? Whatever we're going to do for our, what is it? We're going to do that thing. We guess.
We're going to do a contest?
A contest, thank you. I'll throw one of those in.
Okay. Ooh. Listeners, be excited about that.
Seriously. You want to do
this is 5 years old.
You want to do some of our Lanceros, favorite Lanceros for our contest?
Yeah, we could do that.
This is a Lancero time. I agree. That's it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'll
throw in a nice one for that too, because it's not going to be on either of your lists. I'll mention it and I'll throw one in too.
Okay. I will. I'll put it in Lancero too. I'll put in one of the Lanceros we talk about. Opus X Lost City Lancero.
I tell you what. If you gotta put that in.
It's magical. We talked about it. So
pretty amazing.
La Aurora 100 Años Lancero.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh,
I think that's one of the better, probably the best Cien Años.
By far. And
special.
I was so disappointed this year.
I'll put one of those in. That'll be the one I put in. I'll put
they
one
didn't
of those.
They didn't put that into production this year. Isn't that
I know,
sad?
it's weird.
I don't understand that.
It's bizarre.
But I think it's some of it is that anything with that blend, it's not a matter of no one liking it, because whoever likes that blend is a true cigar smoker.
Yeah.
Now, would you take one of those off? I'll start with Stogie Santa. Would you take out one of those Lanceros and put in one of your own?
Was that five?
Top five list? That was five.
Oh yeah. One of my two favorites are the LG.
Okay. That's a great one.
I love that one.
What would you take off of my list? Would you take off the Davidoff Millennium Blend and put in the... It's a tough call.
No, I can't.
You got a Millennium, you've got La Aurora Cameroon, Paul Camarian, Lost City, or La Aurora Cien Años. Those are some epic Lanceros right there.
There is, and that, you know something, it's just like 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. You know what I mean? That is a great. I mean, it's hard. But mine and the other one.
Martin in the chat room saying Tatawahe BL. Is that a Brothers of the Leaf? Martin, is that?
Yeah, that's a new one.
No, that's made by Drew Estate, actually.
Right, that is Brother of the Leaf, though.
I have one in my box, actually. I'll show you guys what it looks like.
Okay.
And then the other one I love is the El Trumfador, but the broadleaf.
Yep.
The Connecticut
you took
broadleaf.
the words out of my mouth. That is one of my.
A Tatawahe black Lancero.
No, it's not a black.
Well, that's what they're talking about.
That's great. That's the BOTL.
There's a BOTL one.
And that's a BOTL, right.
Is that a 2012? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, ATL saying BOTL 2012.
That's compliments of BOTL.
Yeah,
or
right.
ATL
that
from
was,
the BOTL.
You're right.
There you go.
And I forgot
Cohiba Lancero.
No.
Okay. That was what someone else is
No, wait, no, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I can understand that absolutely, completely. Yes, I can see why you wanted to bring that up.
Well, that's from Zedman in the chat room. He's in Canada, eh?
Mm-hmm. Okay,
so he has the luxury of smoking probably more Cuban cigars than we do.
Mm-hmm. So this is a blend, or a brand for that matter, that I'm not crazy about, but I love this cigar, the Trinidad Fundadores.
Oh.
That is a phenomenal.
Now,
is
that a Cuban or a non-Cuban?
Yes, it's a Cuban,
and it's not going to be a non-Cuban.
It's a 40 ring gauge.
Yep.
So it's slightly bigger than a traditional, but it's really great. I'm going to throw in the one that I included in your guys' Christmas gift.
Oh, yes.
The Cameroon.
Yep. You have a very different list of Lanceros, I think.
Yep.
Than the rest of us.
I'm going to throw the Cane F Lancero on there.
Yep. What about the Daytona Lancero?
I don't think top
I only had one, but I would love to try it again.
I have two of those left in my humidor. I was just searching.
And I got a couple. You have any? You don't have any? I got some.
Daytona. I've only had one.
I tell you what, you'll respect both, but you'll go with the F.
Yeah.
Martin in the chat room says Liga L40 is a good Lancero.
It's a great one.
Yeah.
It's Braden.
Oh,
Can you open the door? Watch your fingers. Fingers.
Okay. We got the... There he is.
Hey, buddy.
Braden. No, I don't, buddy.
Come say hello to everybody.
Come say hi. Watch your step. Watch your step.
Yep. That's Christmas time.
Hi.
Say hi to Paul's son and the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. This is our future. This is the future of Stogie Geeks right here.
Chairman and CEO of Stogie
Geeks.
Hi.
And he thinks the bubblegum Lancero is the best.
That's right.
That's right. And I will find some for you. I promise you.
Because we're ghetto here in the workshop.
Yeah, that's
why.
So okay, I again,
you have to look for Bear in
I
the
can
house,
see
okay?
where everyone wants to
Mommy
change
okay?
up and go in different spots and doing different things.
She okay?
And there's another one that, believe it or not,
can't find Bear.
I wouldn't put it top 5.
Go
maybe
look in
top
the house,
10 or 15 is the Oliva V Lancero.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah.
You know what else is pretty good? The My Father Lancero.
Wow, you know something? Great call. I left that off. I mean, we
could go. I feel like we're Lancero people, so I think we could go off on that.
You're right. The top 5 is it can go easily top 15, and everyone from the chat room to what we're saying. If someone wants to put the L40 instead of the La Aurora or Pete's, I can understand. I totally understand that scenario.
I mean, like I said, we're Lancero people, so it's you know, I always have one or two in my box at all times.
Oh, I got it. I can't travel without it.
All right, top 5
Maduro cigars.
Ooh, top 5 Maduro. That's a tough one.
Oh, wow.
I would say one of the first ones that comes to mind is the La Aurora Preferido Maduro.
Okay.
With age on it.
I'm going to say one of the first ones that pops into my mind is the Dark Ritual from last year.
Fuck. Okay, this stole my thunder.
Yep, that's a good one.
That's a great one.
And another one, maybe a lot of people won't agree with this, it's getting better and better, is MJ12.
Okay. The MJ12 Maduro?
Yep, I like it better than the natural. Everything Dion, not everything, but a lot of his smokes are really...
He's pretty consistent,
He truly is.
Yeah, ATL says Padron Aniversario.
Well, that was going to be my number one without a doubt.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep, and that's the same.
Padron Maduro, whether it's the Family Reserve, it's
it doesn't make any difference what you do.
26, 64, and even the 1,000 blends. I mean, those are all awesome Maduro cigars.
Absolutely.
And the whole thing is perception with Maduro. What's the first thing people think about? It's too strong. I think what they miss is richness.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing I think of Maduro, in my humble opinion, is the richness of that cigar, what it delivers. It's just unbelievable. It truly is.
Oh, I'll add one to the Maduro list, Cohiba Maduro.
Oh, yeah, the Magicos.
Cohiba makes one of the most epic Maduros.
And the whole thing is, you say to yourself...
It's like one of the only Cuban Maduros that are out there, too.
You just stole my thunder.
Yeah.
Cuban,
Damn,
would
I
you
did
ever
that
think...
twice to you.
You know what? But think about it. Would you ever think of Cuban and Maduro? It's like,
Well, and one we just talked about, the Hemingway Maduros.
Yeah,
that's up there, too.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Great call. Great. That's what I'm saying. Going top 5, it's hard. And
the one Steve's smoking, too, is a good Maduro. I don't know if it makes a top 5 list or take a Series D.
I actually just shared one with our new friend over here. I think it's a great one.
Yep.
I think it should also be...
Opus X Maduro is...
Iffy,
depending on the size.
Yeah.
The BBMF Maduro, certainly.
Oh.
Oliva V Maduro, I would go... Especially, we did the show where we talked about we all smoked Oliva Series V Maduros. That was
a great show. That was a really fun show for me.
Yeah, they were all...
And I'm surprised no one's thrown, because I know we like it. A lot of people of coming up, as much as we've said that we love the Sumatra blend, a lot of people are really digging the EPC, the Cardinal.
Oh, yeah.
And
just to go back on the Maduro thing, one that you guys like that I pulled out of the depths of my humidor is that Oliva Series G Maduro Presidente.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Gigantic.
That was a fun cigar, yeah.
Everyone really liked that one.
Yep, absolutely.
So. You must have given me 2, because I actually found one in my humidor.
Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe I did.
Or maybe I had one that I didn't know about.
San Latano Oval Maduro. What do you guys think of that one?
I'm not, no.
Thumbs down on that. I didn't like that one. Some people do, yeah.
I'm not a
big fan of that at all.
And there's another one that people really enjoy, and I just don't get it. And I don't. It's the Christoph Maduro.
Mm.
It's a huge seller in the store, and good for people that like it. And I understand what your taste preference is. It doesn't even smoke like a Maduro to me. It's flat for me. Anyway, what's the next top 5?
Scotch bourbon? Do you want to do Scotch and bourbon? Or you want to do?
No. We have to break that up. We have to break that up. Yeah.
I think we already established the Akintoshin, pretty much the 12-year or 18-year, and I'm sure the 21-year is epic. We got to get it. The 21 year is $144 a bottle, but the 12-year you can get for what?
$41.
I think that's got to be my number one. Like balancing in price and the way it goes with cigars. Certainly that factors into it. That's the tops of my list. Tops of my list of stuff I've tried.
Okay, so I've really dug into scotches this year because I just got on a kick, right? And I would add 2. I think the Dalwhinnie, it's a 12-year, phenomenal scotch, and Lagavulin.
Lagavulin, yeah.
And
it's so
love
funny.
Lagavulin.
Now, when Mark came into the store a year or 2 ago, whatever, give or take, I can't do the peaty stuff. And look what happens.
But I'm like, I've definitely acquired that taste, and I love it now. I love the Lafroigs. I love the...
And the Port
Yeah.
Charlotte PC9, oh, man, is that really good. That's
Isla Jura, that's another Isla that's really good.
Yep. And then the other one, I got a brain cramp. The top shelf. I keep thinking of the top of the thing.
I'm gonna say that I've kind of made
the Balmore you got was really good.
Yeah, Balmore was good. We've reached out with scotches. I've kind of switched from Glenlivet to Glenfiddich.
Yeah, Glenfiddich is.
I find it smoother. is the characteristic that I find in the Glenfiddich. I find it's a little smoother.
Mm-hmm. Of the smooth scotches, though, I really love the Balwinnies, like the signature that came out this year. That was really good.
I think the Highlands go better with cigars.
Right, because it's not going to overpower you.
Yeah.
There's no, you can't. Yeah. To me,
Macallan is good, but is very strong.
Well, Balwinnie's actually it's not Highland, it's not Isla either. Oh, okay. It's the Whoa, I'm disappointed in myself right now.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying to think of the Talisker.
Yeah,
the Talisker is really a special reserve. Oh man.
I'm disappointed with myself. I need to figure this out.
You know, it's another one that I think was either you or Mark that got me really love. It was what's the signature?
Yamazaki?
No, the signature. The
Balwinnie.
Yeah,
the Balwinnie signature.
Yes,
yeah, it was awesome. Yeah,
you got me hooked on. You talk about any cigar. I don't care if it's spicy, if it's even if you're smoking Ecuadorian, it makes no difference. It's just. You talk about a wonderful one. I mean, there's so many different scotch. And what was that one we did? A Japanese?
Yamazaki.
That was an 18-year mark? Or was it?
The really expensive one. Speyside is what I was trying to think of.
Thank you.
And it's a...
I think it's 18, right?
Yeah, I think so, too. I think it's a 12 and an 18.
Right.
Is the way it comes.
Anyone do the 12?
Yeah, we bought it for the show one time.
Yeah. How was it?
It was awesome. Mm-hmm. Exceptionally drinkable. I think that should be the perfect segue into our bourbon, because that is like a scotch and a bourbon mix, because it doesn't have any of that bonded like requirements where it has to be in the new oak or it has to be in this or it has to be anything like that.
Or whatever.
Yeah, that's really getting into the geek aspect of whiskey, which I'm really getting into right now. But that to me is a really good combination of bourbon flavors and scotch flavors.
I think what we ought to do is
look at this.
What do you want to do, guy? You want to do a 40-year-old? You got one there. We'll do another one. Yeah, here you go.
Oh no. It's called a 40-year. It was for their 40th anniversry. So let's jump into bourbon, guys. Let's keep this segment moving.
Well, first of all, top of the list for me, needless to say, is Pappy's. Okay,
Pappy's is very smooth,
very very smooth. But going into
if you want to get geeky for 1 second, please allow me to do this.
Right, you guys do
the reason why Pappy Van Winkle is different than most is because it's a wheated bourbon,
right?
And it gives it a very distinct flavor. So bourbon, to be bourbon, has to be 51% or greater corn.
Right.
And then everything else is up to the mash bill at that point, right?
That's
so,
right.
Pappy Van Winkle is heavy on the wheat,
right?
As opposed to your more common bourbons are heavy on rye.
Right. And that's where you get a more of a spicier type.
Yes, exactly. Right. Where that's where you're getting the smoothness, the sweetness out of a Pappy that you're not necessarily getting out of a lot of other bourbons. And I think that's why it stands out to us and to so many other people. I mean, this is really probably the most talked about bourbon on the planet.
Right. And then another one, unfortunately, it's not going to be produced anymore. It's a $38 bottle. It's called Black Maple Hill.
Yes, that was a great one. That was a great one.
That's a phenomenal. And again, that's in a Pappy family.
Well, they're going to make it, but it's no longer going to be from the Pappy. That's from the
family.
Yeah.
Right. And last but not least, not last. I mean, the one I had, my buddy brought it over. Was a Tornado.
Yeah. Oh, great.
The Colonel. That was absolute. That's about $72 a bottle. Phenomenal. But if you want to get something in the bargain type of bourbon, two things that jump out of my mind is the Old Weller, again, Pappy Distillery. Yep. The 107 is a cask strength. As you can see, people will sometimes put cubes in their scotch and whatever. You can do what you want. We don't. We drink it neat here. Is the 107 Weller. It's cask strength. If you put just one cube, you take that little. It's got a little.
It's a young bourbon, so it's got a harshness to it.
It's got the harshness. You put that one cube in there, and you just take it, and it goes great.
Yeah.
And the other one is $32. Is Elmer T.
Elmer T. Lee, yeah.
Elmer T. Lee.
Good one.
Another phenomenal bourbon. So
I'm going to mention a couple. So I know I'm surprised you overlooked this, actually, my friend. The Woodford Reserve comes out with a yearly Masters collection, right? And the one from 2 years ago was the Maplewood finish. Oh. This is outstanding.
And
it's outstanding. If you can find it, good for you.
Yeah, right.
But you can't. Okay.
I don't say there could be that remote little liquor store, just like a friend of us. I forgot some remote place, out in Connecticut somewhere, got a Pappy 20-year-old bottle. The guy had it for 2 years. Take it off my hands. Just get it out of here. $60. Now is that going to happen? Very rarely. So I'll tell you. I want to see how that compares to the new Forward.
I got one of those for Christmas.
Yeah, no, I'm curious. See what that's all about. That
we'll find out together. Don't worry about it. We'll find out together.
But that's a great. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, I turned you on to it. I pulled you over to the thing. I was like, Mark, try this.
Try that.
And I think that's what gained a little bit of respect from me in your eyes because you were like, yeah.
I'll tell you the other one was the rye that you brought out on the deck on 4th of July.
Oh, the Pappy Family Reserve.
Oh, the rye's totally different. A little bit more spice to it.
A lot more spice to it,
yeah, but it's a great spice. It's not something that overpowers you. I always call it the back nine. You get the aftertaste on that. It's just, you're sitting there.
What did you think of that rye that I brought over here that day? You remember I bought it? It was the Thomas L. Sazerac.
Oh.
Or Thomas L. Handy is what it was. It was the Handy.
The Sazerac we also had.
At my house, yeah.
There's another one. You talk about...
So for you guys that haven't geeked out on whiskey, Buffalo Trace, it comes out with a antique collection every year. Mm-hmm. It's 5, 6, maybe 7 bottlings every year, and what they do is they revive old bottlings, and they bring them out. So there's like a Eagle Rare 17-year.
Yep, there's another one.
There's George T. Stagg. There's a William LaRue Weller.
Yeah, you just go on and on.
Yeah, there's the Handy Sazerac or the Handy Rye, the Sazerac Rye, and guys. Trust me when I say this. There is not a bad bottle in this batch.
No.
So if you see them, they're even more hard to come by than Pappy Van Winkle, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
But half the price. So if they come around, grab them, guys. Really try it. It's some of them are going to be brutally strong. For instance, the Thomas Handy Sazerac rye, 155 proof or something.
Yeah, right.
The William LaRue Weller is another one that's like ridiculously strong. So you're going to have to put a drop of water in them to open them up.
Open it up and explain what they mean by opening up the bourbon.
So basically, you add a little bit of. So there's 2 different types of bourbon. There's cask strength and then there's regular strength. So cask strength comes out. And it's not been watered down, right? So it's at a higher level. It's a higher proof, for that matter. Typically in the 120, 130, 140 proof, right?
Right.
Very, very strong. As opposed to the regular strength, which has a little water added to them, which makes it more palatable out of the bottle, right?
Correct.
But when you add a little bit of water to those cask strength ones, it allows you to get past the alcohol burn.
Right.
And really enjoy the flavors.
You can see
and we're talking room temperature water, and we're talking a couple drops.
Right.
You
can see the oil just raised right to the top of your bourbon.
Right. Absolutely, yeah. If you have a clear glass that doesn't have any like markings on the bottom, you'll actually see the water
it's like oil and water.
Like when smoke is in the air, it's like that, and it's an important thing, and it's something that I didn't pick up right away. Mm-hmm. And it's also something you have to do to Isla Scotches to really cut down that peatiness.
Yeah. Right. And then if you want to cool down or make your bourbon Scotch a little cooler to your palate without diluting it, is your Scotch stones.
Mm-hmm.
Where you put them in the refrigerator. So if you want to turn around, put the water to open it up, drop those in, and it doesn't dilute it because you already diluted. Well, I think enough. When you put the drops in there.
Yes.
And it makes a huge
And if you put an ice cube in it, really, you better drink it fast.
Yeah.
Like, you better drink it fast, or else you're gonna get a watered down experience.
Right. You're gonna think, okay, someone just diluted this again, but Everything's a personal preference. As in cigars, the same thing with the bourbon and your scotches. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's kind of something we don't spend a lot of time on here because we are Stogie Geeks, not Whiskey Geeks, right? And I'm glad that we got this opportunity to talk a little bit more about this at depth, at length, for that matter.
You know, it's a scotch.
Watch out, Paul.
Yep. Just a minute. We got Paul trying to come in Studio B. He's supposed to have a secret. Secret knock. You know, it's a scotch that we all forgot about.
What's that?
I think we all should be shot. Oban.
Ooh, Oban. Oban. Actually,
that's right. Oban. Correct. Stand corrected. It's true. That's the New England accent in us. But there's so many. We could go on. I once I get into this segment, I get lost because it's just to me, a port here and there is nice for me to drink with a cigar, but for the most part, like a Cabernet or a Merlot or a Petit Syrah, I don't enjoy that with a cigar.
Not with a cigar. No,
I'm not saying you
with
can't
a nice meal.
Yes,
I love a glass of good wine.
I mean, I look at Scotch, bourbons, and cognac. That's what jumps out of me right off the bat. What I want to drink with.
I don't think I've ever paired a cigar with wine.
Mm-hmm. I don't like it.
It doesn't.
To be honest, the wines that I like really aren't good pairings. Just like my beer selection, my beer taste is not a good pairing for cigars. I really like the hoppy IPA type beers, and I can't stress enough, guys. Please don't ruin your awesome smokes with that.
But yet again, when you say that, the only reason why I forget the gentleman's name was mentioned it too. He came in. It was excuse me, as I'm getting a little bit intoxicated as we drink the Oktoberfest. Get the pollen and drink that with your cigar. That's one of the few times I can actually say that goes along, and that's how it was actually. That cigar
blended
was blended
to do.
I'm sure most of our cigar listeners are out there realize that, and for our people who are just starting to get into that, that's something you really should try if you're going to drink a beer with a cigar.
I think another one too. This beer is not typically this type of beer I enjoy, but it's not my go-to beer. Are Belgian ales, and they do go very well with cigars. Yeah. That's more Paul's bag, to be honest with you. Paul's a huge Belgian ale guy.
Love the Belgian ales.
Right.
Well, I spent a week in Belgium too, so that just further fueled the love.
So I come up with off the cuff. As we're smoking, Paul, I'm going to give you one later here while you're almost done with yours.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay. I wonder if you guys want to agree with this. The little hammer that's on your 26 Padrones. There's a little hammer.
Is this the contest question? I think it's great.
I think it's a great question, actually.
Okay.
Perfect.
So, Paul, if you want to, I can show it right here. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little hammer. Even though it says 64, it's actually
on the family reserves.
On the family reserves, it's called the little hammer.
What does that mean?
What does that significance mean? So,
we're getting pretty close to call the last contest. I think we got 3 or 4 submissions. We're going to do a little research to make sure we have the right answer. We're going to choose a winner from last week, which the question was about the Opus X Lost City, the difference between the bands. This week's question, 3 days after the show is released, will be what does the little hammer signify on the Padrones?
And what we're going to do, we're going to put in, I'll put in the Panatella. We've got to come up with a 5-pack, what we normally do, right? The Panatella.
San Años.
How about the El Trumfador? We'll do that with Pete, the Connecticut Broadleaf.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
What's the other one we're going to do?
I'll throw in one of those Cameroon
LFDs. And what's another one we can do? How about an LG?
Okay.
You said the Cameroon La Aurora.
Yeah, I can throw in one of those. Sure.
So So again,
so let's just clarify. We have the PG.
Yep.
We have the LFD.
Yep.
We have the
LG,
the Cameroon La Aurora, and the Cien Años.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh wait a minute. How about the El Trumfador? We want that.
Oh no. Yeah. Let's pull one of those back. Screw it. Let's make it a 6-pack.
Okay,
done.
It's a 6-pack.
There we go. See what happens. The more we drink, the more the bigger the contest.
We're gonna have to go back and listen and figure out.
Oh my God!
That's an awesome 6-pack.
Yeah,
that's a pretty awesome 6-pack.
So this way here, I'm sure this will be a. Excuse me. No, but seriously, that's going to be an easy answer for your Padron heads out there. it's just a.
If anyone's ever bought a box, it's in the box.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I'm sure you can easily. That's why everybody runs to Google, not Bing. Please don't use Bing.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. That concludes this episode of the Stogie Geek Show. We will not be recording next week. We'll see you all in 2013, provided the world doesn't.
Hey guys, what time is it? What time is it?
Oh. Hey, just think. Go out there.
2 hours and 2 minutes till the Mayans
just
end.
Go out and buy. Your wife's pissed off at you because you spend too much money on cigars, right?
I can relate to that right now.
Everything you got, because that's why you're going to be dead. Fuck it.
At least you had time to look at it.
Yeah, that's right.
I also want to remind everyone to keep in mind that the Mayans also thought the world was flat, had 4 corners, and was held up by an alligator floating on lily pads on a pond underneath 5 different colored trees.
And they also didn't see that the Spanish would come over, rape them, and kill them with smallpox. Okay,
wow.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Remember, support CRA, gentlemen, and another shout out to all your Cats listeners. And Steve, thank you very much, and Big Pete, thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks everyone.
Happy Hanukkah and whatever you celebrate.
Feliz Navidad.
Now's the season.
That's right. Thank you.